Hi, friends. I've been using Miracle Balm for years, off and on. I started with just one shade. I have now accumulated 9 shades. I have the new palette. I have another palette, which is pretty different. And I just wanted to sit down and do a 2025 update to give you the best, most honest Miracle Balm review that I can possibly give you. So that's what's going on today. Here we go. Some of these I purchased. Some of these were sent by the brand. I was never under any obligation to review them. I keep it honest here always. That's the backbone of everything. If you have any questions, if you've tried this, definitely leave a note in the comments. Let us know your skin type. I want to make a quick note about the age range. In a lot of previous videos, I've gotten feedback that's like, hey, I want to see this on somebody who it's actually marketed towards. I went to the brand said, it's not just marketed towards women who are in their 60s, 70s, and beyond. This is for anybody who wants to use it. I am 45 years old. So yes, you're going to see it on my skin. There are other amazing creators and reviewers out there who can show you on different skin types. That's the beauty of the internet right now. It used to be a 12 out of 20. I forgot what it was a long time ago, but it went to a 12 out of 20. If you want to know what the scorecard is, check in the description. It's everything. It's not rocket science, but it's how I reviewed thousands of products over the past 10 years almost. If you want to see my favorites, by the way, they're back on the website under something called Britt's Picks. They're all there for you in one page. We'll kick it off with ingredients. I'm actually going to take off what I have now because during application, I have discovered some new tricks with this. And it's pretty cool, actually, what it can do. So it's a lot of oils here. The brand claims that it's non-comedogenic. I've learned a lot about that phrase. I'm not going to deep dive into it here, but I've learned that can be debunked pretty easily by cosmetic chemists out there. However, look at the ingredients. You'll know based off of your skin type what works and what doesn't. There are, again, like I said, oils. They're not bad, but there's a castor seed oil in here. There's jojoba. I have been swatching this on my cheeks all day, so they're red. That's not usually the case, but sometimes it can be. But anyway, so don't freak out about that. They're very clear and transparent about what's inside. I don't see any major red flags, but again, look at them. There are some preservatives that I think might raise a few eyebrows. My skin can be sensitive, especially after, I don't know, the past few years of testing. So I like to not use too many silicones, polymers, things like that tend to irritate my skin. I'm not seeing that inside of here. So I'm okay with it. I want to move into application because that's really where things get kind of more interesting. Again, you're going to see the shades come up on the screen, but here's the deal. So they have some new cheek palettes. These are kind of nice because you get to try more. Each of these is 0.07 ounces, I believe. My feedback in the past is like, how am I going to get through that? I mean, I've had these. Probably you're not supposed to have them and use them for more than 18 months after they expire. It's hard to get through some of these, I think. I liked the idea of not having so much packaging and plastic, but this is still a lot of plastic and it's a mirror. So sustainability wise, they're just not winning, period. End of sentence, done. If you're looking at sustainability as plastic and then it's way bigger than that, I understand that, but I'm just trying to eliminate plastic, or I can't really eliminate it, but you get the picture. Times 3, you're looking at 0.21 ounces if I'm doing my math correctly. And that's still not a deal for $34 versus $40. I like the fact that you can try more. It's great for traveling. I did end up really falling in love with one of the palettes, which unfortunately is currently not available on their site. These have limited edition shades in them as well. So you get to try some new things. But if you're looking at apples to apples, depending on how you use it, I don't think it's necessarily the best value, but that's just me. This is a more neutral palette that we're looking at here. This is the Chic palette. I'm going to use the shade, not Dusty Rose. I actually didn't really like Dusty Rose. This is shade Happy Hour. This is a very sheer kind of colorless shade. And I'm going to press it into my skin. And I'm going to use this as almost a moisturizing primer. Usually I would put an SPF on underneath of this, but I want to show you this little trick. So you can just use your fingers for application. This does have a scent for some reason. These palettes, the formula in here, I don't really know why. I couldn't tell you why. They're a little bit thinner. They feel less heavy going on for me, and they smell a little bit less. Otherwise, you're getting a strong, gingery, kind of funky scent. But I like to take this and just kind of apply it on. If you have mature or really dry skin, this might feel nice for you if these ingredients work well with your skin type. I did not have to break the seal to access it on this palette. In the larger solos, you do have to, what they're calling, break the seal. You just kind of push in there. And I let it sit on. It is you know, you can see the glow right now, but sometimes you can use something like a dusty rose that can be a color corrector. They have different uses. And like I was saying before I cut myself off, here's my foundation that I'm going to be applying. The shades are very different in how you can use them. There's the highlight, there's the blush, there's a bronzer, there's a tint, and there's just a completely colorless option. So they're used in different ways. So some of these are going to highlight, some of these are going to be like on top blush, some of them will be on top bronzer. What I just did was I took a liquid foundation. I'm not wearing them often. This is the Dupes & Co. What this does, I've noticed on my skin, which is combination skin, this grips a foundation. It gives a really beautiful velvety glow, which I sometimes get with this, but this can be more of a flat kind of neutral foundation, which is why I also like it. But I have noticed that this underneath is a nice little way to apply, which I didn't know in the beginning. So that's happy hour. I'm using it sort of like a moisturizer and a primer, which is how I use moisturizer before I apply, or a tinted moisturizer with SPF. And if you're using an SPF, then you might not need this. It might be redundant, but I just wanted to show you that it's a nice little step in the process, and the finish is like so velvety. On top, of course, as a blush, I'm going to use the Chic shade. This is the center shade here. You can just press it again. I'm using fingers most of the time. I will get to brushes, but this gives a really true flush of the skin. It's very natural looking. I will talk about finish. You can see the glow. And again, this doesn't feel as heavy as for some reason the larger containers. I do not know why. But this to me is giving, and you'll see it again in the natural light, that'll help. This looks like I have a very, very natural flush on the face without having to try too hard. So if you're not looking for that really strong pigment, there you go. On top of a foundation, it really doesn't interact with it in any negative ways. There are some that have a little bit more shimmer. There are some that have a little bit more sheen. When they say shimmer, so this is Magic Hour. This one has tiny, teeny little flecks of glitter. I don't like glitter, so I don't like it. But if you like that kind of a thing, it could be nice on the body, on the décolleté, whatever. Blush, I'm also going to show you Hinged Cheeks, which is nice. This is a really pretty flush as well, but this is more pink. Gives you a little bit more, and it's buildable, and you can play with it. I'm going to talk about setting in a second, but there you go. Those are two on top options. I want to talk about the setting on top because right about now, this is feeling pretty sticky. If the wind blows, my hair is going to attach to it, right? So we want to bring a powder on top of this. Now you can use any setting powder. I prefer something a little bit more sheer, a little bit thinner. I like a loose powder. The one I'm using is from RMS. This is their Hydra setting powder. It's not a personal favorite, but it's a nice powder. Still sheer, still finely milled. And then you can just press it on top and you get this really, again, kind of a glow still comes out. And I don't know about you, but if you're scared of powders, but you want a little bit of coverage, you don't want to look cakey, like this combination is a really great combination. And it takes away that tackiness. I will feel it again. It will come through because it's moisturized, but it's nice with powder on top as well. And you can keep building from here, and I will keep building from here. So you can diffuse that. This palette that I have from them, this is the Golden Bronze palette. This is the one that's limited edition, unfortunately. But they have one out there now called Cheeky. It's pretty close to this. I ended up really liking this one. I will show you. So Golden Hour, I'm going to use this shade here and put it on top. That's more of a bronze, and it looks like it's going to be very pronounced. It is. So now we're talking tint. You saw highlight. You saw highlight underneath as a primer. Then you saw blush. Now you're getting more of a tint on top. So this is what I would probably say is more like a bronzer. And this is the softest of the bronzer. But to me, this is much preferred over Magic Hour because Magic Hour's payoff didn't show up and it actually got a really negative score for me for that reason. I feel like this and the one in the Cheeky palette that looks similar to this, you're going to get a little bit more of a payoff with this as opposed to Magic Hour. That I think is also why that previous review fell pretty flat for me. I just didn't understand. I just wouldn't use it as a highlight for myself, especially with the glitter reflex. But look at that. That was just a finger. Very, very easy. And it also, I did that to show you that it goes on top of powder, and I'm not seeing polka dot pores. I'm not seeing settling. So again, this is like the spirit of playing with it a little bit until you figure it out. Do you want to play and fuss with something? I totally get people who are like, absolutely not. I don't even want to deal with that. Just tell me what I need to do and I'll do it. This might not be the product for you unless you can find the perfect shade. The two shades that I really want to try now, I mean, I have too many at this point. Flushed looks really interesting in Miami Beach. Those are the two that many have recommended to me as well. It's a little peachy pinky. I kind of love it. The chocolate mocha, I'm going to show you with a brush on top. So I have the 106 brush. Chocolate mocha is in the middle, sort of like a stronger, warm bronze here. And sometimes the brush is going to give you a little bit of a better payoff. Also having the powder underneath, we're still covering pigment. We're going through the scorecard. We're really going through all of it. But application in general went from a 3 to a 4 because I just found better ways to apply it. So I'm happy with that. And then pigment, I really feel like after looking at the descriptors, they had things like sheer, then they would say buildable. I guess before I was expecting something different, or maybe they changed the I don't know what it is, but I feel like it's pretty expectation is hitting reality on that. Some of these are sheer, some of them aren't. Having the other shades shows me how different they can be. Do you have to buy them? No. That's why I really want you to see the demos in this with the natural light and me applying it live. So you don't have to buy all the shades. That was my goal. Hopefully it kind of works. But as you can see, this is building up really nicely and it's more of a warm bronze. Sometimes I laugh because it's like I got rid of the rosy cheeks and now I'm just putting them back on. Kind of an exercise in futility. But yeah, chocolate mocha. So I love this shade. The one thing I did do here that you shouldn't do, the brand does not recommend this, but I have been known to take a brush, dip it into the product, and then put it on my lids, on my eyelids. They do not recommend that, but I have done that and it has been fine for me. But don't do as I do. Do as I say, not as I do. Don't do that. Just wanted to throw it out there that I've done it and she survived. And the plum, this gets more of like a wine stain on my cheeks, which you'll see in the demos. I actually really like this on the lip. And pinched cheeks, I really like on the lip too. It's kind of like a quick stain, and because they're so hydrating or moisturizing or oil forward, let's be honest, feels kind of great. And everything's working on top of the powder. So as you can see, it's still coming through. It doesn't feel heavy either on my face. If you have oily skin, I don't think this is going to be for you, but if you do and you like it, let me know. So payoff, like I mentioned, went to a 4. Finish, you have highlight, blush, tint. The finishes that are associated are subtle sheen or shimmer. You're choosing between two. Like I mentioned, Magic Hour seems to have more of that glittery effect, which we don't like, but I don't like. I shouldn't speak for you. They're all going to give you some kind of a glow with a different type of finish, some a little bit more shimmery. Some are just going to be the glow, which you can technically get from a lip balm. You really can. It's just going to be a very different type of vibe and feeling and different colors. So finish, I also feel hit the nail on the head with their descriptions and claims. So it's a 4. I think because of the deviation with the glitter, I didn't give it a 5, but I debated a little bit there. The wear test for me, it's not sliding off of my face, but I think that's also because I apply powder on top. And I always recommend just like playing with different application tools and techniques, and you might help something really pop for you. Whereas, if you'd have just tried it the way you thought you were supposed to with fingers, you wouldn't have. So hopefully this is encouraging you to give that a try. And the sticky tackiness that you will feel if you build, and they claim this to be buildable, it's a little less. It's definitely still there. The score was 12 out of 20. It is slowly creeping up over the course of years. Why it's taking me that long, I do not know, but it is slowly creeping up. It is now a 15 out of 20. I actually do kind of know. I've just learned more techniques because I've made a ton of mistakes, and I mess up all the time here. I also think having the other colors has helped me. But if you're kind of baby stepping your way into this, even though it's not the best value, I tend to like how these are performing because they're a little bit lighter. They don't smell as much. If those are important to you and you like having a variety of shades, you're non-committal, like moi, this could be good. But again, you're getting more product with this. I wish there was like a bigger palette that you could get, almost like Mob Beauty. So you could just kind of That would be so much more sustainable. Maybe they'll get there. Now, for those of you that have stuck around because you are champions, if you are finding this helpful and any of my reviews have helped you along the way, which is the entire intention of this channel, to give you actually honest reviews so you know what to buy and what not to buy, that is my spiel. Please consider taking 2 seconds and hit that like button. It is free for you and hopefully not hard for you to do. And it makes such a big difference, really, truly. So thank you so much. And if you like other creators out there and you're watching their videos and you're finding them helpful, hit the like button. It's like a YouTube courtesy. It really helps them grow and continue to provide content for you if you like them, if you think they're honest and authentic, and if they're not just bots and AI people who are non-people. Dupe. We're trying it live. We're trying it together. This is from Goop. So Goop, Dupe. There's some others out there, but this I received a while ago and I was like, wait a minute, hold up. There are 5 shades available. This is different in the sense that this is giving you a little bit more opacity. The pigment is not sort of that sheer, shimmery, glowy, but it is giving you color. And I have shade Whiskey and I really like this shade. I also like the other shades that they have. Yeah. So this is giving you the texture. There's no scent. Check out the ingredients. I don't have a full review on this yet. I just wanted to make sure that I featured it here. And there are other things, like I've tried blush sticks that are very similar to some of these, but those have more pigment. So yeah, this is a nice little option. That's just with the finger, of course. I'm going to go in. Let me clean the brush a little. If you don't want the glow, if you don't want the shimmer, and you happen to really like what's going on over there, this is kind of a nice option. And now that I'm looking at it, you know, the Tower 28 balms, also a great option, very comparable. They can be sheared out. They give a glow. Those are actually a really good dupe if you're looking around. It's just a different vibe and different shades. Do I think the balm is a miracle? No. Do I think it's a fun thing to play with? And has it helped with application of other products, which is kind of unexpectedly cool? Yeah, I think it's a fun thing to play with. I really think that this is kind of a beautiful option. Jones is more of something where you can also wear it over the face depending on what kind of shade you get. So it just really depends on how you want to use it. I actually really like this color. You tell me what you think about this color. I kind of love it. Tell me your experience with the Miracle Balms. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Share it, because I want honest reviews from you as well. I'm just one person talking over here. If you want to see this one person's favorites, you can check that out again back on the website. Out of everything that I've tried, those are the favorites all in one spot. It's the smaller condensed version, or you can continue watching my previous favorites videos over here. Have fun. Thank you for watching. I'm sending all the positive vibes your way, and I'll see you right back here with more honest reviews soon. Until then, bye.